Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
The difference between success and failure is a great team. And this week, our great teams comes from Pyrotechnics Limited. And the team is Jay, hello, Sonam, and Zamir. Yes. Welcome to Road to Success.
Thank you.
You're a really dynamic team that works with pyrotechnics, which is really, what does that mean?
It means the art of fire, and it means pyro really is fire. Mm-hmm. It's a term for fire and techniques. I mean, the art of using fire to make a beautiful thing.
And how did that idea begin?
Well, it started many years ago when I attended or used to attend the family functions, weddings, events. And there was really no beginning, no end to an event. It was very boring, very mundane. And what happened is I saw an opportunity right there to create a wow, a dazzling effect, to bring joy and happiness, which I knew I could do. So I just started from right there, went on to study and got the product in.
What is your role at Jays?
Looking at what the event is looking at, what it's covering, what kind of effect it would like. And with Zamir's help, he helps me to sort of generate this idea as to make it more dynamic.
Give us an example of how you use your psychology when it comes to fire.
Many people aren't very open to the idea of fire in their event. Just assuring the client that it's safe is one of the ways that you just convince them that the event will go as planned.
And you, Zamir, you're the creative.
I go into, with my team, with the help of Sonam and Jay, to see how to bring it into reality. I lead the team for special effects and R&D, research and development, into new products.
As a client coming to you and come with an idea, then you would obviously work with me, isn't it? How does that work?
Usually, I mean, you see, when a client approaches us, they have a concept, they want to have something. You have many clients that are probably not apt to digest the special effects that Jays Pyrotechics has to offer. It could be a wedding, it could be a birthday party, it could be a car launch, it could be a concert of 2,000 people to 300,000 people. Right? It could be even government institutions. So yes, we look at it and say, how can we incorporate what we have, or what can we create that would incorporate into that client's, in the respective client's vision.
Perhaps you can talk about the different products that you offer at Jays.
We started off with pyros. We call them pyros, but those are the pyrotechnics. Then we incorporated confetti, showers of confetti. We have different types of ways of we can shoot it. Then we have bubbles, we have snow effect, we have a flamethrowers, we have cyrojets or CO2 jets, high velocity CO2 jets. We have ultra dense slow fog. We have what do you call them? Maroons. We have bullet shots. We can literally anything to do with any sort of production, special effects, we can provide. Mm-hmm. We have the ability now.
So in the R&D department, there must be a lot of challenges that you encounter when it comes to innovating different ideas or different products for clients.
We do come across challenges, but we take it in good stride and we see how we can overcome it. One of the things when it comes to creating new stuff, we have limitations when it comes to finding certain products regionally. I mean, not only in Kenya, there are products that you can't find them except in probably Europe or in China. So that led us to enlist a team of engineers, industrial engineers, chemical engineers in these countries, in Europe. We have an R&D office in China, right, that we work with. where we ask them to create certain chemical compositions because they're readily available over there. So they would test it in their market and say, okay, this is ready for market penetration. Then we would bring it here and say, okay, is this ready? Now, if we were to create machineries and hardwares to supplement the chemical compositions that are created abroad, we would test them regionally before even putting it out into the market, right? Because we have that flexibility, because we do serve Tanzania, we serve Kenya, we serve clients in Uganda and Rwanda as well. So in this spectrum, we have that flexibility where we can test it in different markets, right, before we put it out. So yes, I mean, we do come across as in any R&D department, challenges are there. Sometimes you feel this is never going to start or never going to end.
And obviously there's a cost when it comes to the R&D department. And
yes.
The cost that you must incur to make sure this works and this is safe.
Yes.
For people. How does that work with you?
The cost, you see, because we have partners, technical partners in 3 different continents. One is Africa, one is in China, one is in Europe. We support each other when it comes to such things. Jays Pyrotechics does take the majority of the expenses when it comes to doing R&D. However, there are some products that we have patented to ourselves. So we do supply to other suppliers, and we try to recover the costs through that as well.
That's a good idea. With your idea, you must secure it because you don't want copycats.
Right.
Yeah. We must take a break, but when we come back, we'll talk about how you market yourself, how you convince people. I guess that's where she comes in.
That's where she comes in.
That this is a good thing for them. And then, of course, the environmental impact your products have.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do this after this break. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Don't go away.
Did you know you can now send money from M-Pesa to an Equity Bank account? To send money from M-Pesa to your Equity Bank account, go to your SIM toolkit, select M-Pesa, select Lipa na M-Pesa, select Pay Bill, select Enter Business Number, enter Pay Bill number 247247, enter the Equity Bank account number, enter amount, enter your M-Pesa PIN and confirm the transaction. You will then receive an SMS notification that the transaction is complete.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our dynamic team is from Jays Pyrotechics Limited, led by you, Jay. Before the break, I asked a few questions, but one of the things I think a lot of us would like to know, once we have hired you to come and do these wow, amazing things that you do with the fire, what should I know?
Let's assume that you want yours is an indoor event, and you want us to come and give you that razzmatazz. We need to know from you first, of course, the date, the venue, what the event is all about, and who your dignitaries are. All right. Once we get there, we look at the venue. We ask you questions about the size of your stage, who's doing your decor, because it's all relevant. We do not, for one, want to cause any panic or any fires. Okay? What basically you need to know is that because we are licensed, for that particular venue, besides your other licenses, you don't need a license for pyrotechnics. Okay? It's indoor, close proximity, so there is no noise, no other issues regarding that. Now, with respect to confetti, we would ask you how close the client or the nearest spectator is so that we know which type of confetti to use and which equipment to bring in. The rest, of course, there's power that is relevant to us because we use a lot of power. So it would just, those basic questions, and the event is made as simple as that.
What about safety?
Safety, we normally liaise, you as a client only need to facilitate us with the venue owner, because the venue belongs to them. They know where their sensors are and everything, where their fire hydrants and everything is, so that we will liaise with them. We will tell them, although there is no risk of fire, like the smoke detectors need to be switched off or covered, so that there is no panic within the rest of the venue. That's about it. And with regards to fire, pyros are generally cold flame. Cold flames. So
okay, wow.
Even the sparks that they emit are really safe. They are made. The pyros are actually made for indoor. So even if I had a carpet right under the pyro, there's no effect on that pyro.
Wow, that's important to know. And how do you market your products?
We live in a generation where the use of social media is very powerful. And psychology has taught me that people tend to remember what they saw as opposed to what they hear. So from YouTube to Facebook, even Twitter, when we put our products out there, videos of events that we've covered, it tends to go viral, and people then pick up the idea of, oh, I want that for my wedding, or I want that for my launch. And that is one of our strongest marketing tools.
Who do you target with your products?
We cater to literally all industries, all sorts of target segments. So it could be a wedding, it could be a birthday party, it could be a theme party, it could be a graduation, it could be a corporate launch, product launches. The target segments are literally everybody, right? You can't say we'll only supply to Group A and not Group B. Yeah. So we have products that cater to all segments.
If somebody is watching this show and say, I want to be partners with you, or I want a franchise from you, what would you want from them?
First and foremost thing is commitment. Yes, that are you willing to continue this in your town? Are you able to do it? I mean, that's the first commitment, right? And then I think we can take it on from there. I mean, there's a lot of discussions. There's training. We have to train them. Bring them to par to what we are doing in different areas, serving different clients.
Jim, one of the interesting things you mentioned is like you started off as a freelance and then went into a company. Just briefly, just tell us how that came about.
I saw the opportunity. I had a little bit of savings, so I went out and invested. It wasn't much. It was very little. But then, and I started off doing little events like a birthday party or maybe an anniversary, and the interest started growing. With the interest, of course, my passion for it started growing as well. There have been times when you've been put down and somebody says, oh, is that all you can do? So you feel setback. See, really, is that all I'm going to do? But then the determination to push it forward and say, no, wait, hold on, I can actually do this and I can do that, and started giving added value is what has brought me to where I am right now. So it's just pure determination to drive forward. Why should I let go of something I started? I knew I had a niche market, but I just needed that extra push. And that's how I went through.
Are there schools that offer pyrotechnics as a course?
Not that I know of. In my entire career, I haven't heard of any. I went out to study, remember? So no, there is no school that's offering such a course.
Perhaps you guys can share with us some of the successes that you have experienced, or some of your success stories.
I'd go back into the first time that I was asked to go and cover an event alone. Like she mentioned earlier, I always used to go with her. She used to train me. And there came a day when she was like, you have to go alone. And when I was done, that well done that came after, for me, that was the moment. that was my first success story.
What would you say would be the key to your success when it comes to your company, Jays Pyrotechics?
For me, at present, it's the team that we have. It's a wonderful team to work with. Besides that, I think it's our creativity put together. I think every event just becomes, everybody wants to talk about that event straight after. For me, that's major for me. When I was working solo, I had I had a team, but it wasn't as dynamic, so I was just doing the little bit that I could do.
Yeah.
So the events were there, but they were not talked about as much. So now it's a whole different story.
What advice would you give anybody in business, maybe going through a challenge? What advice would you give them right now?
To begin with, if you have an idea, do try and develop it. Work within and around yourself first. And then if you find a team like ours, go for it.
Thank you so much. Really do appreciate your time and your story. It does inspire us to remember that a great team is important.
It is important
for our success or for our failure. We can see a dynamic team like yours. Thank you so much for your story.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Do not go away.
Equity Group profits before and after tax increased by 18% growth for the half year ending June 2016. Releasing the results at Equity Center in Nairobi, Equity Group CEO Dr. James Mwangi said profit before tax rose to 14.2 billion shillings.
Both lines have grown at 18% and heavily driven, as we saw, by growth 14% of the loan book and 44% growth in investment in government securities, driving a combined interest of the two lines by 35%.
Dr. Mwangi attributed the improved performance to the successful execution of an innovative business strategy, the Equity 3.0.
The cumulative banking transactions increasing by over the year, increasing by 225%, while the value of those transactions has increased by 525%.
Dr. Mwangi illustrated how the bank transaction business is moving from physical channels to digital channels. Transaction at the automated teller machines and the branch declined by 17 and 12% respectively. Uptake of the mobile channel grew by 115%, with over 2.1 million clients having registered on the Equitel platform. Indeed, the convenience and ease of accessing credit through Equitel mobile channel saw the number of loans disbursed increase by 308%.
That 380%, 82% of all the disbursements, 3.558 million loans have been disbursed through Equitel.
Equity Group customer base crossed the 10 million accounts mark in the period, with deposits hitting a high of 259 billion shillings.
Very excited that we now have reached the tipping point. When you reach 11 million customers, now you feel you have almost at a tipping point. Cross-sell can really significantly grow the bank.
A review of the top banks in the world revealed that Equity has improved ranking to the 8th best bank in the world on return on assets and the fastest growing large bank in Africa.
Last year, we were now number 916. If those who can remember the previous year, we were number 999. We are now down to number 835. And if you look at this report, we are ranked the fastest growing large bank in Africa.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our expert is David Miner of Pure Flow. Karibu sana, David.
Thank you, Catherine.
David, one of the things that came out from the conversation we had with our guest from Jays Pyrotechics is franchising and teamwork. We actually did feel the synergy. They had such it was really a dynamic team. And 20 years later, we can see why.
And I think of all the resources that an entrepreneur needs to manage, and of course these include financial resources, mechanical resources, products, is people. And the people resource is one of the most influential resources that determines the success of any business. So selecting the right people is important. There's many people who've written very many books about how to go about creating a good team. And some of them will say, you know, first get the wrong people off the bus and then get the right people on the bus.
Isn't that expensive though?
Well, sometimes it's necessary. I think sometimes one has to decide what are the right skill sets that you need on board, and both the hard skills in terms of technical skills and the soft skills in terms of people skills. You know, you need somebody who is you know, very positive in nature. They've got a great sense of interpersonal relations. They're great with customers. And once you decide these are the skill sets, then you need to go out and get people who match the skill sets you need.
Another issue that came out is franchising. For somebody who wants to be a franchisee, what should they do?
I think it's very good to see entrepreneurs wanting to grow their businesses beyond themselves, and that's the mark of a good business. If you can define your business beyond you, that you don't have to be there for the business model to work and for the business to flourish, that's a good growth phase. So I think franchising is a very good one for Jays Pyrotechics because they have a good model, they've got a unique value proposition, the demand for what they're offering is greater than what they're able to supply, and the locations they can operate in are more than the ones that they're able to operate in physically. So franchising will offer them the opportunity to introduce new entrepreneurs into the business model and say, you can also do what we do in Nairobi, in Kigali, in Kampala, in Dar es Salaam, in Arusha, in Juba. And I think that is a great next step. By franchising, what they would need to do basically is to document their business and be able to communicate the success factors of that business to another entrepreneur. Now, if they do that successfully, then the other entrepreneur will say, look, I can pay for this. This is worth a 7-year learning curve of me trying to do it by myself when Jays Pyrotechics have done this very well. And so they could actually then, the new entrepreneur would invest in that brand and run just like it's done in Nairobi and be able to do the same business and run it elsewhere.
Do you need experience to become a franchisee in business?
It will depend on certain models, and in most good models, you don't. In fact, you know, I don't want to quote certain brands, but some of the most popular fast food brands will say that we don't want anybody who's ever flipped a burger before, because we flip our burgers differently. So we want that person to come green, and we will train you from scratch, because that way you don't come with any hang-ups. Oh, you know, we used to do it this way in the business I used to work in before. Oh, we're not doing it the way I've seen it done before. Come on a clean slate with a clear mind that this brand knows what it's doing. It has done this before many times. I just need to be open to learn how to do it as well as they've done it before.
Who determines the cost of the franchise? Is it a negotiable?
Well, it's the franchisor. So the franchisor knows what it takes to set up their business. And so they have in the business setup costs. They say, look, if you need a location, if it needs to be a physical location for your offices or your production area, they'll say, this is what it takes, and cost it. And then say, so if you buy a franchise, this is how much you need to pay for. And lastly, are they open to introducing other entrepreneurs into their business model? Yes. So I think they're ready for franchising.
Thank you, David, for that information.
Thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Remember, synergy is not about you or me. It's about us. Do have a blessed week.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.